Could we be jumping the gun regarding Ty Simpson, or is there legitimately a three-way tie for the quarterback position at Alabama? Stick around. Let's talk about it. Roll Tide. This is Way Offsides. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever the case may be. Welcome to Way Offsides here on YouTube. SEC Media Days is going on. Kalen DeBoer was on the stand talking to the crowd and the media this morning as well. He brought Deontay Lawson, Tim Keenan with him. I can't remember the other person he brought with him out of the top of my head. Caden Proctor. Sorry. He brought Caden Proctor with him. They are two SEC Media Days for the last day. Alabama Day, as I like to affectionately call it. And a lot of really cool sound bites are coming out. And that's really what SEC Media Days is for. It's kind of the unofficial kickoff of the college football season. Following SEC Media Days, camps will start. And then obviously we're only a month and maybe a month and a half removed from the actual start of the 2025 college football season. So you get a lot of really cool sound bites. Some really crazy stuff has happened already. Steve Sarkisian goes to the stand. They play the Aggie War Cry song when he gets called up for his portion of SEC Media Days. Kirby Smart yesterday was talking about relationships over transactions, and basically Steve Sarkisian gets on stage and says the same thing. And within an hour, Texas gets the number one linebacker recruit, Tyler Atkinson, out of Georgia's backyard, and then flips number one interior defensive lineman recruit as well, who was already committed to Georgia. We all know that they were able to do the same thing with Justice Terry last year in terms of recruiting. And Terry was pretty clear about, hey, they just had a better NIL package. So it's just interesting to see Sark get up there and say those things. And then Texas, with zero shame, flex the NIL muscle over the Georgia Bulldogs in their own backyard. It's been a tough recruiting cycle for the Bulldogs in that sense. They're still doing fine, but in terms of keeping their homegrown talent in state, they've been getting poached a lot. But in terms of Alabama, the day has been pretty interesting so far. Deontay Lawson spoke to the media. Tim Keenan, Caden Proctor. Caden Proctor apparently has a cologne collection of over 170 different varieties, something that I didn't know, you didn't know. The more you know, the better. Now you're that much smarter. But he pretty much said, hey, I'm a big guy. I need a lot of cologne. Got to smell good and flip the narrative. But Deontay Lawson's, his talk was interesting because he was asked specifically about the comments from FSU quarterback Tommy Castellanos. If you guys haven't seen the video yet of Cam Ward, Isaiah Horton, and Castellanos, he kind of backpedaled a little bit and was explaining why he said what he said about Nick Saban not being at Alabama anymore. I will, we did a whole video on this, so I'll link it above so you can check it out. But Castellanos, pretty much Alabama's not the same Alabama team it was under Nick Saban. And he's not scared of them, which great. That's fine. He said that he was trying to just hype up his guys because they went 2-10 last year, blah, blah, blah. But what he didn't, I guess, factor in was that Alabama's defense was going to take that personally. And by the sounds of it, they did. Deontay Lawson said, hey, look, we're going to worry about what we can control, which I felt was good because that's very Nick Saban-esque. But we're also going to, we're going to handle business. And so it just very, very interesting stuff coming out. I think Lawson also, the comment was, bring it up here so I can tell you verbatim because my brain is not working well today. But any disrespect will be handled accordingly. That is how he finished up his statement. Well, Tim Keenan was also asked about the same thing, and he said the exact same thing, almost verbatim. So, Tommy, we're praying for you, man. Not really. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. So, anyway, but Tim Keenan also was asked about the quarterback situation. And of course, Kalen DeBoer was asked about that. I think that was like the first thing he was asked about. Pretty much gave the same answer he's been giving, that Ryan Grubb has been giving. If the game was to be played today, Ty Simpson would be the guy. He spoke highly of Ty Simpson, but he also spoke highly of his other quarterbacks. And he said, look, we've got 3 guys who can make big plays, who can do big things at the quarterback position. He spoke to Austin Mack a little bit, and then to Keelan Russell. He also discussed going to the funeral to support Keelan. But Tim Keenan was also asked about the starting quarterback, and he said that this is interesting. Keenan said that he felt like it was a 3-way tie right now. Said that he got to get into the ball camp, and then they'll build it become the starter, which is a little different than the narrative that we've been getting from Ryan Grubb. Not much, but I'll be honest, there's not much to talk about right now. So this is what we're talking about. So I feel like there's a little bit of a difference in saying, well, if the game was played today, it'd be Ty Simpson, and Tim Keenan saying, well, we're going to see that battle play itself out in the fall, and the coaches will make the decision on who the guy should be. I still fervently believe that it's going to be Ty Simpson. He'll be the one to take the snap under center, or in the gun, whatever. When they play FSU in Tallahassee on August 30th. But it does make me wonder if that competition is going to be open all fall, or if potentially Alabama could have a package for all 3 guys somewhere. I think definitely Austin Mack, that would be a consideration. Maybe not so much Keelan Russell, and just the fact that he's a true freshman. There's going to be some growing pains there, I think, unless his football IQ's off the chart and he's just picked it up. But you bring in Ryan Grubb, you got that kind of offensive change from what Nick Sheridan was trying to do last year. I feel like there could be the possibility that all 3 guys get some significant playing time this year. And then I think that's interesting. I think that's good. I don't think that they'll be all, it won't be a situation like it was back, with Barnett, Cooper Bateman, those guys, where they were flipping them in and out, trying to figure out who was going to win the starting job. I think this one would be that there would be a clear starter in the sense of it would be Ty Simpson, but there may be legitimate packages for guys like Austin Mack, which I don't know if you guys have seen any footage of Austin Mack, Ty Simpson. All of them are looking really, really good. Of course, this is practice footage. This isn't live game footage, but Mack is tall, man. That is a big dude. And so I feel excited about the future of the quarterback position at Alabama. We had Jet Thumala on a couple of weeks ago. I'll link that up above too, so you can check that out. But Thumala talked about the competition in that locker room and how he didn't want to shy away from it. Alabama right now on the recruiting trail is also favored to land Taden Kawa, the 4-star quarterback out of Hawaii. And so I would imagine if he does make that verbal commitment to Alabama, it feels the same way. So just really, really interesting dynamic there in the quarterback room and the way that that's going to pan out. I think most people feel like Alabama is going to lose a quarterback or 2 in the portal, but we've said that the past couple of portal cycles, and Bama hasn't lost anybody outside of Julian Sayin, who left when Nick Saban retired. So I'm excited about whatever the coaches decide to do with that quarterback room, however they decide to manage it. I feel like the players are on board for whatever decision gets made, just because you're listening to what these guys are saying, what the coaches are saying. You're kind of watching the culture around the recruitment that's been going on during the OVs over the summer. And again, I've said this 1,000 times on the show, it just feels different. It feels extremely different. And that's exciting. It's exciting. Let me backtrack a little bit here and say that I do think Ty Simpson will be the guy who starts at quarterback for Alabama when they take on the Seminoles in Tallahassee on August 30th. I do think Ty Simpson has the experience, the seniority, the relationships, the longevity, the continuity to give Alabama their best chance to make a run at a title in 2025. But I also think that Austin Mack could be you could plug him in, he could do the same thing. Keelan Russell, I would have some question marks just because I'm talking about a high school guy coming up to the highest level of college football. And so there's always going to be that learning curve there, unless you're, a Tua type guy. But it's really exciting what Alabama has on that roster. And just, I don't know, having a quarterback battle again, even if there actually is one, if there really is a three-way tie, like Tim Keenan said, seeing how that plays out in the fall will be very, very interesting. And just the fact that we're so close to getting to see that, to see the media coverage or in practice. Fall's in the air. It's 100 degrees outside, but fall is in the air. Do me a favor. Plenty of other stuff coming on the recruiting trail. We just talked about Taden Kawa. Bama's still in the mix for a couple of guys like Anthony Tank Jones. So please subscribe so that you don't miss any of it. You don't want to miss any of it. So subscribe. Sorry, I had to mute and cough. Subscribe. You can get all the information you need right here. Really easy. Hit the notification bell. You won't miss a thing, we promise. Really cool live coming up tomorrow night at 8 p.m. We're going to talk about SEC Media Days. We're going to wrap everything up that we've heard, kind of look at the conference as a whole, where everybody stands. And I think that we'll do Cotton's conference rankings, preseason conference ranking tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central Time, live right here on YouTube. And you can catch it on X, but we'd like you to watch it over on YouTube. So thanks for sticking around. You guys are our favorite people because you're gumps, just like us. So say your prayers, read your Bibles, wash your hands, horns down, beat Auburn and LSU and Tennessee too. Roll Tide.